We are Deb Null
and Roxy Settley of Nerd Roller Skates,
Calgary, Alberta's full-service skate shop.
We are roller derby players and roller skate nerds.
And we are here for the people who roll.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today, testing helmets to see if they pass the Multiple Impact Certification Test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. A soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner, the hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam, the S1 Lifer helmet with EPS Fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS Fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
Hey, and welcome back to the second and final day of the 2014 MRDA Championships right here in Tacoma, Washington. I'm Raucous Ron.
And I'm Dragon Lady.
And we are super stoked about all the action coming up today. We're about to break it down for you. Coming up first, we'll have the guys on the track right now, Puget Sound Outcast, and they'll be taking on Your Mom Men's Roller Derby, the 2-time world champions. This ought to be a good bout.
Well, and Outcast do have home field advantage here. They are the hosts of the Maritime Mayhem this weekend. And overall, the Outcasts are not too shabby, so this should be a really tight bout.
Yeah, the Outcasts played so well yesterday. It was incredible, and they've definitely got a shot at taking the title here by all accounts. Let's move on to the second game of the day.
Well, and both first, second games are going to be determining who goes on to the championship bout. The 2 losers still will be fighting for 3rd and 4th place later today.
So all the marbles on the table for the championship, for a trip to the championship game in these first 2 games of the day. So I hope you're up.
Second game is going to be St. Louis Gatekeepers versus New York Stock Exchange. Both heavy teams that are just absolute machines on the track.
Yeah, powerful blockers on both sides, legendary skaters. Both teams have been around in the MRDA for a long time. They are rivals, and last year St. Louis coming out with that 3rd place slot, they did not like that, and New York didn't like the 2nd place slot, so they really, really want this trip to the championship game, both of them.
Absolutely, and with them both having such systematic strategies on the track, it's going to be amazing to watch these 2 literal machines go at each other, see how they evolve, how they adapt, and just what we're going to end up with for the victors.
Yeah, that's exciting. So, yeah, loser of the first 2 games going on to the 3rd place, and the winners going on to the championship game. Moving on to the 5th place game of the day, Denton County Outlaws coming in and making a splash at this tournament.
Not to mention Southern Discomfort,
yeah,
the first international team to make it all the way to MRDA championships. And like we've seen with some of the WFTDA international teams coming in, not quite sharing where they place because they don't play as many games. They don't get to, see the matchups with a lot of these teams frequently. And they just shoot through the brackets.
Yeah, amazing. Denton County and Southern Discomfort both, really making an impression here and playing like they've been here forever. So, and then and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we're placing third and fourth, and then the championship game. So I hope you have your brackets out and you're tracking all your scores, all your teams, feeding it through.
Yeah, get on and let all your friends know to tune in. This is where you watch great Derby, learn great Derby. Right now, we're getting ready to kick it over to our compadres over here on the mic, Phil Dirt and Bangers and Smash. Take it away.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Phil Dirt.
I'm Bangers and Smash.
We got Your Mom versus Puget Sound Outcast Derby today. It should be amazing. Like Raucous Ron and Dragon Lady were talking about, these two teams do have a good history together. Well, I don't know if good's the right word.
Good may be overstating
But
things.
they do have a history. There was a bout in Bremerton a few years ago that was rather notorious. You could probably go and Google that and find out what the heck we're talking about. But why would you do that when you can watch this game?
And I think you're in for a hard-hitting, tough game coming up here in just a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and tell you who's going to be skating for you today. I'm going to start with Your Mom. Number 10, Rolo Mite. Number 12, Nick Becker. Number 1369, Dirty Larry. Number 21, Geronimo. Number 3, Peter Pan. Number 3158, B Stang. Number 39, Cleveland Stever. Number 5, Luke Jamblocker. Number 56, Suicide Snow Cone. Number 6, Sugar Boots. Number 69, Twinkle Toes. Number 7, Seahorses Forever. Number 88, Just Mike. And number 9, Frank Not So Hatra.
All right, and on the Outcast, we have Outcast in yellow today. Scott Slamilton, number 100. Number 11, Thunderstruck. Number 12, Walker. 14, Ryrod. 187, Big Bill. 19, Corey Payne. 22, England. 23, Quadzilla. 2, 4, 6, 8, Dilly Dally. 24-7, Hollywood Chuck Hendrick. 35, Radillac. 4, Stand Aside. 55, Corporal Punishment. And 56, Michael Jensen.
And for those of you who are long-term fans, you're going to see Dilly Dally skating with D Bots on his jersey. And M. Jensen, for those of you who maybe didn't recognize him yesterday, that's also known as Bonus Jonas.
Yeah, Dylan Botts, those two incredible skaters. Very young, not terribly long on Outcast, but making an immediate impact. We're going to see a lot of great skating, a lot of pure talent. I know it's been said most of the weekend, Your Mom, probably the best skaters in the tournament individually. I think it'll come down to whether we're at a point in men's derby where teamwork and the best team can compete with the most teamwork. But we'll find out.
And it looks like we are about to start finding out any moment now, as number 100, Scott Slamilton, in the gold and blue for Puget Sound Outcast Derby has the star, and number 69, Twinkle Toes, in the black and white for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby with the star.
Right up on that, the Nerd Skates jammer line to start this one off. And we've got Derby here in the morning from Tacoma.
Already going on. Scott Slamilton starting off with holding back, adding some defense on Twinkle Toes. The Twinkle Toes makes quick work of the wall, and or his own wall, and gets up into Puget Sound's wall and starts taking a beating.
Great defensive work by Dirty Larry out there on Scott Slamilton, knocking him to the outside.
And Twinkle Toes now finds the inside line, and lead jammer goes to Your Mom Men's Roller Derby.
And there's a great hit from B Stang. B Stang knocking Scott Slamilton out. And we've already got a natural grand slam, 5 big points up in the air already.
Scott Slamilton once again taken out by Nick Becker there, and going to be recycled all the way back.
Oh, huge jam to start off for Your Mom. And he's going to call off the jam. That's going to be 10 big points for Your Mom Roller Derby.
Twinkle Toes showing they got the speed there early in the morning. I still need some coffee before I can even talk.
It's early, but thank you for joining us on the internet here from the historic Tacoma Armory. Going to be a great day of Derby, just like yesterday was. Amazing bouts yesterday.
Absolutely, and we're in for an amazing bout here today. Number 12, Walker, taking the line for Puget Sound, and number 9, Frank Not So Hatra for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby. The whistle has blown. Walker working on the wall for Your Mom, and Frank Not So Hatra just kind of hanging out behind him, waiting for something to open up.
Oh, a penny pass to Hedrick, but hot behind him is Frank Not-So-Hatra. So we do have a lead jammer. I'm curious if he's going to call it off because we do have a couple of Your Mom back. Nope, they decide they're going to go. They believe in their defense.
He was looking for a couple points. I think what he was hoping to do was get 2 points, call it off. But Frank Not-So-Hatra overtakes him.
And
somehow gets 5 on the score. I'm not sure. That might be corrected later.
I'm hoping so.
But he does get through. Hollywood ends up with 4 for himself.
Fast moving pack out there. The speed of these two teams. Oh.
And Frank Not-So-Hatra coming through.
We get a ref taken down, turn 4. Got tripped up with one of the skaters as they went down. Rules enforcer, hopefully be all right.
The medics out there taking care of her. We got to definitely say a shout out to the EMT staff who's been taking care of everybody this weekend. It's some hard hits here this weekend, and they've been doing a really good job of responding and taking care of our people.
Yeah. I always hate to see a referee get taken out.
Up and shaking it off.
Just a bad landing is my guess. Little clipped skate. But she'll be all right, looks like.
Now, as that happened, Frank Not-So-Hatra was calling off the jam, too. So the jam didn't end because of the referee injury.
No, she doesn't have to sit out for 3 jams.
Yeah, no, she does not have to sit out for 3 jams. That would make it tough to keep score for for her team.
All right, and there's another 4 points being thrown up for Your Mom. Double check with there we go, it's 14. That's mo better.
That makes a little more sense, yes. So 14-4, 10 points for Your Mom right now. We're going to get back into the action. Number 22, England jamming for Puget Sound. And number 10, Rollo Might jamming for Your Mom men's roller derby. The score was just updated to 4-19.
Yeah,
it's
so
actually a 15-point spread there.
That 5-point pass was not corrected. So see if that comes back to bite him later.
Rollo Might makes through the pack. Lead jammer to Your Mom men's roller derby.
England trying to get out. Takes, a big hit there from number 6, Sugar Boots.
Sugar Boots with that patented hips out kind of hit there. Rollo Might coming back into the pack. Taking a hit at the front there. Quadzilla gets up front as well. Takes him to the outside. Big falls going everywhere. Sugar Boots down. Jam comes to an end. 3 points more for Your Mom men's roller derby.
And you got to love that. Radulac, knocks the player down, but then gives him a hand up. Because Radulac, brand new dad, I got to say congratulations to him. One of the fastest recoveries from having a baby I've ever seen in roller derby. Because he had a kid, I think, 3 days ago.
Oh, wow. That is pretty fast.
We actually, we kid, and a big shout out to his wife, whose name I'm completely blanking out on, but everybody will be yelling at their computer screen because she was only in the league I announced for a long time.
So we've got corporal punishment up to jam for Puget Sound, taking on Nick Becker for Your Mom men's roller derby.
And a forearm call, I believe, there. And that's going to be an out of play, I believe, as corporal punishment cycles back to the back.
Yeah, Peter Pan taking him to the outside. He is all the way, have to make the trip back through the back.
A high block on the jammer.
That's
so
gonna
Nick Becker going to head off to the sin bin, and we've got a power jam for the Outcast.
And corporal punishment, actually taking some punishment from Peter Pan at the front side of the back there, but makes it out. Lead jammer. Lots of whistles being blown, and it's going to be Jensen headed off to the penalty box. Puget Sound going to be down another blocker.
Corporal punishment gets hit out of bounds, figures, all right, I don't have enough time. We want to keep some of this power jam going. So he calls off that jam. And we've got an official timeout being called.
And I do see the coach for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby in the middle there, so we'll see if it's an official timeout or if there is maybe an official review.
I didn't see both coaches come out, so I think he's just got some questions. Maybe a little bit of a timeout because we had a lot of stuff happening during the course of that.
That was a pretty intense bout. We went from a pretty intense jam. We went from an empty penalty box to lots of people going to the penalty box. Right now we've got the jammer for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby in the box. That was Nick Becker. And then 2 blockers from Puget Sound in the box as well.
It's like Big Bill and Michael Jensen sitting there feeling shame for 30 seconds, and then they'll get free.
Could be a nice boost for Puget Sound at this point with an opportunity to get in, get lead, and put some points on the board possibly before Nick Becker comes back to the track.
So 22-7 already.
We'll show you some Derby love. You should check out Green Monster. It's Green Monster with no vowels. For the last year, they've dedicated their time to creating something special that will change the wheel game as you know it. Make sure you're receiving notifications from them, as well as following them on Instagram at Green Monster Roller Sports. There's no vowels in Green Monster. For more information,
check out also their website, greenmonster.com. Fantastic products, fantastic company, big supporter of the roller derby. I love them. Bring a tear to my one good eye.
We're probably going to get some updated information on what just happened there, but it looks like we're about to get back into the action. Number 12, Walker taking the jam line for Puget Sound. He is up against a full wall from Your Mom Men's Roller Derby. He only has 2 blockers on the track with him to help him out. He does get taken to the outside and recycled.
I found out that clarification, Nick Becker, actually 2 high blocks on Nick Becker. So he's got a full minute in this ending.
That could be the boon that Puget Sound needs right now. And there we go, Walker with lead jammer for Puget Sound. Sugar Boots also headed off to the penalty box, so Your Mom Men's Roller Derby down 1 blocker on the track. Now let's see if it makes it any easier for Walker to get through this time. Walker coming into the pack and taking a beating from Just Mike. A nice jump. He does stick it and fall inbounds, so he's able to get right up. 5 points on the board for the Outcast.
Just what the Outcast needed right there. Walker trying to get his way back through. Zigzags it through for another grand slam. 5 big points. But out of the penalty box is Nick Becker trying to make his way through on his initial pass.
Yeah, so Walker can keep on going and put some more points up for Puget Sound. And he's definitely not going to stop. He comes in and immediately meets the wall at the back from Your Mom Men's Roller Derby. Sugar Boots again throwing out that hip to try to take him out. He's going to go ahead and shut down the jam. Does put 2 more points on the board. Score continues to creep closer. We're going to be at 23-19 at the end of that jam.
Nice jam by the Outcast, just what they need early in this game. Finding themselves in a little bit of a hole, but penalties, they'll do it to you all the time. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. It's true. Hey, look, they're starting on the Nerd Skates pivot line.
They are. We've seen a lot of that action during this tournament, and I think we're seeing a lot more just in roller derby in general this year. As we get into the action, Twinkle Toes back up to jam for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby, and made it up to the front, got squished back. Scott Slamilton is now at the front side of the pack, but having some hard fight getting through there. Seahorses Forever looking to hold him up, but he makes it through. Another lead call for Puget Sound. The crowd goes wild. Of course, it is kind of the local loved team here.
Yeah, our host league, Puget Sound. Scott Slamilton took a big clockwise block there from Peter Pan.
Twinkle Toes now out and eligible score. Scott Slamilton came back in. Easy pass through the pack. He calls it off. Another 4 points. That is going to mean a lead change early on. You can hear the crowd out there going wild. Wow. It is now a 1 point game.
And a timeout being taken by Your Mom. Your Mom rocked on their heels right now. Outcast now with a 1 point lead. But yeah, the Outcast fans out in full force here, 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time.
Well, I think that's what that water stuff outside is called, isn't it? Puget Sound.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense for me.
So this season, your mom, not a whole lot of competition. They played a lot of local teams, a lot of teams that weren't really in their same ranking. Outcast have been practicing with Rat City. They practice with Ole. They practice with a lot of teams around the area. They're called Puget Sound, not Seattle, because they do come from all over the area.
And I think you kind of see this already in the gameplay. The team has stepped it up from previous meets with your mom, and it's definitely going to be continuing to be a very intriguing game.
Last 3 jams, Outcast have been on a 19-0 run.
And they're hoping to keep it going. We're about to get back into the action. Frank Not-So-Hatra with the star for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby, hoping to change things up again. And for Puget Sound, we've got England out again.
England, so this is no points picked up by England yet, but he had a great game yesterday against Bridgetown.
Frank Not-So-Hatra able to make it past Bonus Jonas out there. Lead jammer going to Your Mom Men's Roller Derby.
England, though, hot on his heels. England also newer skater for the Outcast, but is on the U.S. men's team for inline hockey. Slightly different, yes.
And that pack is going so fast. Frank Not-So-Hatra, of course, a speed skater, able to catch up and get through, puts up 4 points on the board. And England into the pack, also going to make it past Just Mike and put up 4 points to match there.
Nice spinorama move. Now the pack's starting to slow down. 2, 4, 6, 8, dilly-dally. Or Dylan Botts if you prefer. A nice block there, and that's only going to be 1 more point for your mom, and they're going to call off that jam.
So that means, since the points were matched during the first pass and your mom got 1, we have a tie game at 27-27.
I smell overtime already.
That's something we don't see often in roller derby. I would really enjoy to see this come down to an overtime jam.
We had the amazing overtime jam in Salt Lake City for the WFTDA playoffs this year, and that was a fun game.
It is definitely some craziness.
All right, we've got an official timeout. The refs are coming over and huddling. I also see our ref liaison putting his helmet on, so we may have a substitution.
Possibly rule enforcer. That hit may have taken a little more out of her than we first thought. So yeah, there's a possibility that she may be stepping out and being replaced. And that's what it looks like may be happening. Maybe something with her wrist there.
Always a hard spot for an official to be in, to have to say, no, I cannot continue, but it's always better for the official to be honest and say, you know what, I am not going to be able to do the best job as possible. So looks like that
is in fact what happened. I have seen a rule enforcer go ahead and leave the area to go de-gear. So
hopefully she'll be all right.
Here's wishing her well. So
yeah.
While we're waiting for the referees to get it all back together, let's tell you about another one of the sponsors of the tournament. It's Fast Girl Skates. Don't forget about their customer appreciation sale going on all month. Save up to $200 off your order and get updated to express shipping for free on all international orders. Check the events page for details and codes and spread the word. Support Derby-owned small businesses. We're all in this together. www.fastgirlskates.com.
Yeah, Fast Girl, big supporter of all of our local leagues here and of roller derby in general. I mean, they were the world's first brick-and-mortar derby store. And, owned by skaters, for skaters. Reminds me of another league somewhere. So tie game. We're 21 minutes, 12 seconds left in the first period. We got a lot of derby left.
And it's already been so hard hitting and impactful here.
Currently, looking at penalties. Spread out. Outcast, only 2 penalties so far. And your mom with 9. So battle of the penalty box right now. Outcast with a clear advantage. And that big power jam that they got them right back into this game.
It really did help them out, and the way that Puget is handling this, being able to pull those penalties, if they can pull some more power jam penalties, they can certainly stretch out their lead and potentially hold it for the bout.
So yeah, Punk Yu will now be the other jam ref along with Hangin' Chad, Mr. our head referee. Hopefully Rule Enforcer, since she fell a few jams, hopefully she'll be all right. But that was the point of our timeout there. And now we're ready to rock again.
That's a corporal punishment taking on Rolo Might, and Rolo Might blasts right through the pack. Lead jammer going to Your Mom Men's Roller Derby. And some big falls at the backside of the pack there as the Outcasts attempt to hold on to a goat to slow down the pack. Corporal punishment now at the front there, makes it past Peter Pan and also Dirty Larry, and now eligible to score.
Corporal punishment, yeah, just a fire plug on wheels out there. Finally manages to get out. And as we expected, called off the jam before he could get in, so Your Mom picking up the 4-point advantage on that jam.
Rolomite definitely demonstrating some really good skills on finding the lane through the pack and just able to blast right through there, right off the jam line. So Your Mom Men's Roller Derby once again in front of the score, 27-31. Still 20 minutes in just the first period here. We're going to get them all lined up. B-Stang up to jam for Your Mom, taking on Scott Slamilton.
I think this is B-Stang's first jam out there.
B-Stang being held up at the front there really well by all of the blockers for the Outcast.
Started as a triangle and then switched into a box. We've got a high block call on B-Stang and another power jam from another high block.
And this is exactly what Puget Sound wants to happen all this game.
Trying that passive defense and drawing more penalties.
Multiplayer being called on Dirty Larry enables Scott Slamilton to get out of the pack. Now he's just got 2 to pass, Just Mike and Sugar Boots out there, and Quadzilla goes out to take that big Sugar Boots hit, and it makes it an easy pass through for Scott Slamilton to put up all 5 for the Outcasts.
The front of the pack, stand aside up there, distracted him, and threw for another 5 points, Scott Slamilton.
Very well done. Now Scott Slamilton is lead jammer. He looks to the bench. B-Stang has returned from the penalty box, so he may be looking to call it off, and he does. He gets into the pack, signals to call it off, picks up 3 more points on the pass, keeps Your Mom with 0, and we've got yet another lead change.
Oh, if you're playing the Derby drinking game at home, good luck with that all day.
That's right. You're going to be pretty hammered here shortly. 31-40. Puget Sound Outcasts now with the lead again. We're lining them back up. Number 22, England, with the star for the Outcasts, and number 69, Twinkle Toes, with the star for Your Mom.
Again, we're up at the Nerd Skates pivot line. Old school derby like Your Mom used to play.
Absolutely. And now we've got, once again, Puget Sound really wants this bout. They are at the front side of the pack, trying to break out. England having some trouble there, though. Twinkle Toes now comes around and has the front side of the pack, and he's looking to break out. Jensen, though, giving him a hard time. He's able to make it out. Lead jammer to Twinkle Toes.
Oh, England finally making it out of the pack around the outside. Amazing agility on England out there. I think now another high block.
And I saw this. It was called way back before Twinkle Toes got out of the pack by one of the outside pack refs, but he didn't transfer it inside fast enough. So Twinkle Toes is going to the penalty box now that the penalty's been called on him. But unfortunately, actually they did give lead to England because Twinkle Toes should not have been lead. So he was able to call off the jam. 3 points on the board, and now Puget Sound gets to start off fresh. So that was a good catch by the referees to switch it up and give lead to Puget Sound because Twinkle Toes should not have gotten lead. The penalty was called before he broke the pack.
And Hangin' Chad did come over and told the NSOs, hey, I did have lead. So, of course, Your Mom's coach coming in and asking questions about that. Because
you would definitely want to question it.
That's what a coach should be doing. So now Scott Slamilton coming off the Nerd Skates jammer line as our as our only jammer, our power jammer.
And Scott Slamilton now facing off at the front side of the pack with Nick Becker taken to the outside. He did get lead jammer, but he's going to have to start all over again.
Got his hips out in front and then got hit out of bounds.
And that time he just right by Nick Becker, and Peter Pan able to take him to the outfield now. Twinkle Toes has returned initial pass, so I think Scott Slamilton's still got some time to see if he can break out and maybe get around to put some points on the board. And there he goes. He's almost out. He's past Sugar Boots. Twinkle Toes tries to take him out and now is in front of him, so I have a feeling that Scott Slamilton, unless he could take out Twinkle Toes, is probably going to shut down this jam.
There's his coach, Val Capone, though, saying go for it.
She was like, get out there and run, put some points. She wasn't real happy that he didn't get in front of Twinkle Toes.
You could see her grabbing her forehead and saying, I
think Scott Slamilton made the right choice and called off the jam. You don't want to give up these points that they've got right now.
Yeah, 12-point lead for Outcast right now. They don't want to be taking any chances on that.
Your delivery.
Somebody got coffee delivered, and it wasn't me.
I didn't expect it, but thank you to the person who loves me that's out there watching. Number 9, Frank Not-So-Hatra on the jam line for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby, taking on Corporal Punishment for Puget Sound. And we're into the action. They're coming around turn 2. Nobody's out yet. Quadzilla trying to hold up Frank Not-So-Hatra. He did it long enough that Corporal Punishment is right behind, but Frank Not-So-Hatra turning on the speed now. He is lead jammer and looking to put on some points. If you're wondering why there's 3 people that look like jammers, because Peter Pan returned from the penalty box behind the jammers. He's hoping to get into the engagement zone and help out Frank Not-So-Hatra, but they collide with each other. Now Corporal Punishment is in the lead and looking to get into the pack and put some points on the board.
And that's going to be at least 1 point for Corporal Punishment. So Frank Not-So-Hatra not calling off the jam until he gets out of the front of the pack and picking up all 4 points. Oh, no points scored. So
no hits were passed, I'm guessing.
Twinkle Toes coming out of the penalty box. Sorry, Peter Pan coming out of the penalty box never got in front of him, so he didn't pass him. He would have got that point had he passed another set of hips because he came out of the box behind him, which is what Hangin' Chad is telling Val Capone right now.
I think that's, you saw Val Capone run out there. She's like, where was my point? And I believe that's what the refs were clarifying, was that he never actually passed Peter Pan because they weren't in the engagement zone at any point when the hips would have been passed. So. And
we got a lead jam relatively early on that one for Rolomite.
Yeah, we see him do that an awful lot. He's off the jam line like a bullet. So now he's already back around for a scoring pass. Meanwhile, in the pack, we've got Walker kind of stuck at the back there, really fighting against the Your Mom wall. And 5 points on the board for Rolomite there.
Clockwise block handed out there to Sugar Boots.
He's so tall, it's hard to tell what direction he's going when he's hitting people. Rolomite comes back into the pack for another score. He gets taken to the outfield, and he's going to be recycled way back by Ryrod there.
Michael Jensen also now holding him back. Pretty good defense. Not a most amazing defense right now, Your Mom's, because Walker's still on his initial pass.
That's it, and that last hit out was Beastang with a nice hip thrust, taking him over into the outfield. Another 5 points on the board for Rolomite. He's going to go ahead and call off the jam, and we're going to be another lead change. My goodness.
45-43, 2-point game.
I knew this game coming in was going to be intense, but I was not ready for this intense. I'm certainly more awake than I was when I first sat at the table.
Yeah, amazing game so far, back and forth. And again, Puget Sound playing a very clean game. Just 4 penalties for Puget Sound, and it'll take me a while. I'll get you the penalty totals for Your Mom.
Yeah, they're definitely racking them up. Twinkle Toes versus Scott Slamilton as we get into the action out on the track. Some whistles already blown. Twinkle Toes with another penalty. He's off to the penalty box for a low block. Scott Slamilton out in lead, and now looking to change things up again. We might have another lead change coming up here, ladies and gentlemen, because Scott Slamilton's got 30 seconds to put as many points as he can on the board.
Penalties right now, 18-5, with Your Mom with the 18.
And I think that your mom kind of knew that was going to be their struggle, is staying clean against Puget Sound today, especially since they haven't really been playing these teams over the course of the year. They don't know what they were coming into this morning, whereas all the other top teams were playing and training to beat your mom. That's what they really want to do this year.
Your mom just did amazing defensive work there. They took that pack half a lap back and finally got so disgusted Puget Sound called off the jam. However, they did pick up enough points to retake the lead, 46-45.
And now we have a 1-point game. Are you screaming at your TVs at home? Because inside my head, because I don't want to scream into the mic and out of your TV, I'm screaming because this is some awesome derby action we got going out here. Now we've got taking the star for the first time with a power start, Quadzilla LK. If you don't know what the LK stands for, research it. It's pretty cool stuff. Quadzilla really taking a pounding at the front side of the pack there. Gets taken out and able to come right back in, though. But Twinkle Toes comes back from the penalty box, out of play called. He's able to get out and get lead. Quadzilla now out and eligible to score.
Dylan Bott's actually picking up a out-of-play block on that, so he'll sit down.
Twinkle Toes back into the pack, looking to pull all 4 points out of it. He passes the last skater. He signals to call off. He does pick up all 4 and does not give up any points to Puget Sound.
And that's going to be another lead change, 49-46. Back and forth they go. My goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Honestly,
what a game.
This is the kind of derby I love to watch when it's back and forth, back and forth. You don't know. You're at home on the edge of your seat, biting your nails, cheering for the team that you support.
Screaming at your television, throwing things whenever we talk.
I know if you look at the faces of the members of the audience right now, they're all so intent and just like focused. Now we've got B-Stang jamming against Stand Aside for Puget Sound.
I think that's Walker.
It is Walker. I apologize. You're correct.
Walker does get lead jammer. And another high block. More penalties. One more to beat. Stand Aside has to give up. He's out of play. There's briefly no pack at all out there.
Now we've got lead for Walker. B-Stang trying to take him out. Ends up losing a little bit of footage there. So Walker going in for some points. He picks up a cut. Seahorses Forever did hit him out. No cut. The outside said no pass, no penalty. Yeah, that's it. He gets 4 points on the pass.
That was actually Seahorses Forever's both hands went down, so he was considered down.
Seahorses really not happy with that call, but yeah, if you touch your hands to the ground, you are not in play. So
you can touch one and be okay, but not that second one.
Things are going crazy on the track. They are getting unhappy with each other. You can see this as the hits are just flying in the pack. Dilly-dally off to the penalty box again. 3-3 on the last pass there for both teams. Oh my goodness.
So far on Power Jams, the 7 Power Jams that Outcast has gotten, it's been a 34-4 advantage.
And you know it shows in the score here because everybody expects your mom to come in and score high. And right now, 52-58, Puget Sound with the lead by just 6 points.
In 8 minutes left in the first period.
100 versus 10, Scott Slamilton and Rolomite both with the star and both just kind of pushing on the backside of the pack there. Rolomite with a nice little split of the legs there around the outside, able to break the pack and take lead jammer.
I believe Rolomite's gotten lead jammer in every jam he's been out.
I believe if we could check the statistics for that, you would be right. He's able to break that pack very quickly. Scott Slamilton now out and headed toward the pack to score. Rolomite at the back of the pack there, sees him coming, but it looks like he may have slid in. No points awarded, though, for Puget Sound. It looks like 2 points. Yeah, 2 points on the board for your mom men's roller derby. That's going to take us ever closer.
Sugar Boots arguing for a cut the track penalty that he didn't get. Still arguing for a track cut penalty.
You got to be careful about that because you can get an insubordination for that these days.
It's true.
I also see, it was funny because you saw your mom's coach come out, and then you saw Val Capone walk out there. And yeah, the coaches are definitely both very intent about this bout. Quadzilla up to jam again for Puget Sound, kind of rolling over Frank Not-So-Hatra, who's jamming for your mom's roller derby.
Frank Not-So-Hatra picks up the low block on Quadzilla.
I wondered how that was going to be called there. I did see Quadzilla fall right over him, so that was definitely a low block call.
Another power jam, and so far all of the penalties on your mom's jammers have been either a high block or a low block. Not your standard penalties.
Not something you typically see, you're correct. Now Quadzilla already around and through. B-Stang takes him to the outfield, going to recycle him way, way back. He's going to have to start all over again. Now, your mom has been decent about holding the points catch here on their power jams. As you see, one pass for Quadzilla, 5 points more for Puget Sound, and the jammer for your mom men's roller derby is going to come out of the box soon. He was already standing when the jam was called.
But good move there, and we see this more and more, getting the points, calling it off, and then getting the power start. Gives you just a slight advantage, but sometimes a slight advantage is all you need.
It's all you need, and you're exactly right. Get in there. If you're able to break the pack and get lead jammer before the other jammer can return to the track, then you're guaranteed control of the jam. So it is an absolutely great strategy to use out there. We're ready to go. England with the star for Puget Sound. Already some whistles being blown. Number 56, Jensen, headed off to the penalty box. Missed the call on that one, but that's going to put the Outcast down one. There we go. It's up there now. It was a forearms call on Jensen.
Neither jammer so far out of the pack. Finally out of the pack. I believe Hengachad looking for confirmation that lead had not been taken.
And it hadn't. So, yeah, England is lead, but not far behind him is Frank Not-So-Hatra. Again, turning up the speed, able to close the gap. He's coming up on the pack quick. Let's see if England's going to call it off. He's in the pack and signaling 3 points to 2 points as Frank Not-So-Hatra was able to get in there. So just a 1 point gain for Puget Sound on that jam.
But another point means a 10-point lead now. Amazing work. 4.5-ish minutes left in this first half.
Number 69, Twinkle Toes, taking on number 12, Walker in the pack this time.
3-4 pack advantage for your mom.
Let's see if it helps them make up the 10 points. I know they can't be very happy being 10 points down right now. And Twinkle Toes already taken to the outside, so Puget Sound's showing they can do it with just 3 on the track.
Dylan Botts and Michael Jensen just doing an amazing 1-2 punch at the back of the pack.
And Walker doing an amazing job breaking the front side of the pack there. Lead jammer to Puget Sound. The crowd is really enjoying this. We've actually got people standing and cheering as Twinkle Toes picking up another forearm call, so power jam for Walker, who is in for a scoring pass but is being recycled
all the way back.
He did not. He was kind of talking with his ref about where B-Stang was. Can I go in with a no pass, no penalty? And I guess he took the chance and was able to come right back in. He does pick up all 5 points because he'd already previously passed B-Stang.
And if you could see the look on Hanging Chad's face when he get asked the question, like, I can't
tell you this information. You got to guess. Walker comes back in. He takes the hit to the infield. He is able to put up 3 more points. So Puget Sound is able to increase their lead 57-74.
Just amazing work. Puget Sound, their motto this year has been Puget Outcast all damn day. And they are proving it. They have been working all damn day, every day.
That's it. And they want to be here all damn day. And in order to do that, they got to win this bout to move on into the championship bout.
They are hosting this tournament and do not want to come in third. They want to go for all the way for gold.
Go for broke. That's it. Number 100, Scott Slamilton jamming for Puget Sound is into the pack and looking to break it. As Twinkle Toes returns, Twinkle Toes able to get right through the pack. Lead jammer to your mom men's roller derby. Scott Slamilton really having some big hits delivered to him, so he's having a tough time breaking the front side of that pack.
Nick Becker with some great hits, but one of them was a clockwise block, so Becker's going to go off. Scott Slamilton hit out of bounds and no pass, no penalty. And then nailed out of bounds.
And that was Frank Not-So-Hatra, who is the double threat out there. And they're taking the pack all the way back now. Both jammers are basically skating in the wrong direction because both jammers have been recycled. Quadzilla and Frank Not-So-Hatra, the last players of the pack, they're just continuing to go back and back.
Scott Slamilton, though, did pick up a great idea there because he came in front of his own player, knowing you can come in front of one of your own players.
Twinkle Toes calls off the jam, puts 4 points on the board for your mom. No points for Puget Sound that time, as they never did break the pack. So we get closer, 14-point game, 60-74. Roller Derby Elite. Roller Derby Elite signifies our highest level of skates and components engineered and designed for advanced skaters demanding the maximum level of performance. Visit www.rollerderby.com.
All right, Thunderstruck coming off the Nerd Skates jammer line for the first time, and he's out there against Rolomite.
Now let's see if Rolomite can do what he's been doing and continue this lead streak. He is really working the front side of the pack, and there it is. Rolomite is lead jammer for Your Mom men's roller derby.
Yeah, Corey Payne just could not stop him.
Your Mom hemorrhaging another blocker there. That's number 5. Luke Jam Blocker headed off to the penalty box for a forearms call.
Stand aside, almost winding up in Your Mom's bench.
He did a good job, though, because he held up Rolomite. Now Rolomite is on the outside, taking the pack backwards.
Thunderstruck still trying to get back in.
You got to watch Sugar Boots. Sugar Boots with a nice hip and then able to pull back behind him as Thunderstruck steps in and picks up a cutting the track penalty.
So a power jam for Your Mom, and this is their first power jam. That was the first penalty for a Outcast jammer in this game.
That is correct. Now Rolomite is looking to make a change happen here. There's 5 points for him. That was his first scoring pass. The penalties go by so quick now already. Thunderstruck standing in the penalty box. Rolomite only around in a second scoring pass. Rolomite able to make it through.
Rolomite, if Michael Jensen hadn't have fallen down, that would have been a cut. But since he did, no pass, no penalty, and had already earned his point.
Yes, so 5 more points go on the board. We're within 4 points here. Rolomite coming back into the pack, a direction of gameplay penalty going to number 19, Corey Payne. He's off to the penalty box. Rolomite is in the pack now. Does he know Thunderstruck is coming up here?
He
starts to call off the jam and does it in time. No points awarded for Puget Sound.
And that's going to take us into halftime.
Wow, what an intense
3 more
half.
points. So now we have, going into halftime, 74-73, Outcast with a 1-point lead.
This has been some of the most intense roller derby action I've seen all weekend.
Oh, man. I'm glad you got up early to join us here on the internet for this game. The story here, we have both Nick Becker and Dirty Larry for Your Mom, each with 4 penalties. No one on Outcast with more than 2, and you have Thunderstruck, Corey Payne, Dylan Botts, and Michael Jensen each with 2. So penalties, big story here. Your Mom shooting himself in the foot by going to the box so much, but making up for it because we've got back and forth. I don't know how many lead changes they've been.
I know I can remember at least probably 5 or 6 there, but I wasn't really counting them. And Bulldog making faces behind us there.
Yeah. But anyway, so the amazing game. Both these teams hard hitting, flying action, and playing back and forth roller derby. I'm in heaven.
I agree. Now, if you're out there watching and you know people who aren't out there watching it, you really want to tell them, get on the internet, get this stream up, because this is some awesome derby action.
If you're in the
happening.
greater Puget Sound area, get in your car right now. You can make it here. No problem. There's no traffic on Sunday morning. Come on.
13 minutes to get here before the next half starts. So
Seahawks are out of town. You'll be all right. All right, we're going to go to halftime. Phil Dirt.
Bangers and smash.
We are Deb Null,
And Roxy Sadoway of Nerd Roller Skates.
Calgary, Alberta's full-service skate shop.
We are roller derby players and roller skate nerds.
And we are here for the people who roll.
say we don't do enough. We don't stock enough skates, especially the bargain basement variety. We don't carry inlines or know the best place to get them. We don't have every package from every manufacturer. They say all these things. Yet every day we measure your feet. We study your stance and tailor your fit. We mount your plates and answer your questions. We build skates that make you fly. We're not here for them. We're here for you. And we want to make you go really, really fast. Make them catch up. Visit us online at fastgirlskates.com.
We are Deb Null,
And Roxy Sadoween of Nerd Roller Skates.
Calgary, Alberta's full-service skate shop.
We are roller derby players and roller skate nerds.
And we are here for the people who roll.
All right, we're back. Oh my goodness, what a game so far. Thank you for joining us. We're in here in Tacoma, Maritime Mayhem, the 2014 MRDA Championships.
In beautiful Tacoma, Washington, in the Armory. I love this floor for skating. It looks amazing.
A beautiful building. This place looks like a castle on the outside. I mean, it's an armory from like 1900, 1890s. Just an amazing building. And speaking of amazing, what a game we're watching so far this morning. We've got 74-73, Outcast ahead by 1 point at halftime over your mom.
And the Outcast really coming in. They really want this win. They're the host league, so they definitely want to be in that 1-2 game. They want the one spot. And so you could definitely see the heart they're putting into this game. And Your Mom men's roller derby, now they are defending champions. They want to go for that three-peat, so they really want this game too. And you can see as the game has progressed and that as Your Mom has had a struggle to put points on the board because of the penalties, they're definitely letting that get into their head, I think, and they're just pulling even more penalties.
Yeah, only one power jam for Your Mom so far in this game. I believe 8 power jams for Outcast, and that's put them over the top so far. Leading scorers right now, Walker on Outcast with 32, Rolomite 32. Rolomite, though, 100% lead jammer. That's been a huge factor out in the game. And really, penalties. No one on the Outcast with more than 2 penalties. And you've got Nick Becker, Dirty Larry, and Peter Pan all with 4 for Your Mom.
And talking about penalties, we've got Your Mom's jammers picking up penalties. And the interesting thing, it's not cuts.
No.
It's high blocks, low blocks, and 1 forearm so far. And that's going to be trouble for them later in the game, too, because if they lose a jammer because of a foul out, they're going to end up having to replace with a blocker, which Your Mom can do because they do have a deep jammer bench. But that means that blocker is then missing, and that could really foul up, what their lines look like.
You got Your Mom with the most amount of players off of Team USA for the World Cup. Tickets still available down in Dallas, Texas this December, so go check that out. But so you do have an amazingly deep bench, but if you start getting people fouling out, that's less people that you get for later. Plus, Your Mom starting to argue a little bit on the bench.
Yeah, a little bit of fighting going on now. I know Mike Muse, the coach for your mom men's roller derby, is definitely a we have to win this kind of guy. So it's probably not making him terribly happy that when Flat Track Stats predicts that for every 26 points your opponent puts up, you're supposed to put up 61, that they're within 1 point of each other, and they're below at the moment. So let's see if they went into the locker room and got things together. We're back into the action. Twinkle Toes taking on Scott Slamilton as we get going. If you're just joining us, your mom men's roller derby in the white and black. Puget Sound Outcast derby in the gold and blue.
And Scott Slamilton with a nice spinorama move on the inside line, picks up lead jammer.
Twinkle Toes being bumped by Dylan Botts, and he's going to go to the penalty box for a
low block.
Looked like
he made contact with his knee to the back of his leg. But advantage made, and sometimes you got to break a few eggs, you know?
That's it, and at this point in time, Puget Sound can afford the penalties. And there we go, 3 points going up for Puget Sound. They're going to increase their lead ever so slightly. And
so power jams, actually 11 power jams for the Outcast with a 50 to 10 point advantage in those jams. The one power jam that your mom got was a 13 to 0 advantage. So that's power jams, of course, always a huge factor in roller derby, but in this game especially, just that they haven't been getting them for the Outcast.
They have not. Number 12, Walker taking on number 9, Frank Not-So-Hatra. The jam whistle blew. They kind of just stood at the back there working out what they were going to do here. And now Walker just kind of driving the line forward. Frank Not-So-Hatra ends up going back behind everyone for a moment there and then gets recycled. Oh my goodness, it's power jam for your mom.
Cutting the track called on Walker.
Lead jammer to Frank Not-So-Hatra. This might be the break that your mom needs to make another lead change happen. Let's see how many points they can pick up, though. Puget Sound Outcasts have done a really good job doing penalty kills here.
And a forearm call on Frank Not-So-Hatra. We're going to get the jammer swap out. One jammer goes in, the other comes out.
And we're going to have our first full-length jam of this bout. They're going to go for the full 2 minutes. It will be no lead jammer. Walker coming back in. Your mom men's roller derby setting up. Sugar Boots waiting at the front for him just in case with that big hip swing that he does. But,
amazing hip checks.
Walker gets trapped behind number 5, Luke Jamblocker there.
Another hip check he swings off. Walker, of course, on his initial pass. Now done.
He's through and ready to score. Now Frank Not-So-Hatra back from the penalty box. He is on a scoring pass as he returns to the track. I forgot what the thing was called.
That wood thing with the rope and the strings.
That's it. 5 points for your mom men's roller derby. Walker taken out by Seahorses Forever.
Just
gonna have to recycle.
Amazing hip check work in this bout. Big Bill gets taken out there.
There's going to be another 4-point pass for Frank Not-So-Hatra. Walker, meanwhile, stuck again, taken out by Seahorses Forever, who's really good at getting all the way back there, making that recycle distance really long. Jam comes to an end.
Another 2 points for your mom. And that may be changed to 3, I believe it will be.
4 points showing for Puget Sound. So we have another lead change, but it didn't get much of a distance between the two teams. Only 3 points, or 4 points.
Slight adjustment there now, 85-81, so 4 points. That extra point was added for the jammer lap point.
And we're going to start them all over again. Number 10, Rolo Might takes the jam line for your mom men's roller derby. Number 22, England. Going up on the jam on the Nerd Skates jam line, Rolomite taken out.
I'll just do the splits here. Don't mind me.
Splits.
Hokey smoke. That's a guy who does not want a cutting penalty right there.
And now this time we're seeing some really good holding of Rolomite. Let's see though, he's able to break, still maintain that lead jammer status that he's always gotten. He's out and ready to go.
For the entire tournament, Rolomite at 93% lead.
93% lead, and now he's got a power jam as England headed to the penalty box. England picking up a cutting the track penalty there.
Oh, this is exactly what Outcast needed to avoid in the second half, was having their jammer go to the box.
And your mom is going to want to take advantage of that now. Rolomite already with a scoring pass and back in for another scoring pass. Some really hard hits happening out there.
Through only 3 points because of the no pass, no penalties. A lot of skaters getting flung out of bounds on that. So they did hold him up from the whole 5, but not enough. England's standing up now out of the penalty box.
Rolomite through again for another 5 points, even though Quadzilla with a very nice hit there. Rolomite able to keep his toe stops within the line. England now through on his initial pass. That means he's going to shut down the points at least. Rolomite back in, takes a hit, spins around. Corey Payne with a nice delivery there, and also...
And someone got a cutting the track there.
Looks like the cut went to Michael Jensen.
I believe you're right.
As
yes.
I saw him head right to the penalty box. I think he knew he did it, and so there wasn't even a look at the ref like you normally see. He just kind of went to the box.
So a couple huge jams right there. Your Mom 101, Outcast now at 82. So a 19-point lead over the last couple of jams for Your Mom. Hey, if you want to look at stats, check out ringster.net. They update them at halftime, so you'll be able to see all the things that we can see and some of the things that we don't even look at.
You're absolutely right. Twinkle Toes versus Corporal Punishment. Twinkle Toes tries to go to the outside. Dylan Bott's able to take him out and recycle him back.
Someone's going, blocking with the head.
Punishment gone.
Punishment.
Now this is going to hurt Puget Sound. 2 power jams right off the bat. Twinkle Toes now lead. He's going to increase Your Mom Men's Roller Derby's lead now.
On that one, I believe Corporal Punishment came in with his head and was trying to use it to push other players out of the way. Oh, blocking a down scare, a high block call there. But 5 more points for Your Mom.
Your mom loses, just Mike to the penalty box on that one.
And do call it off, keeping Corporal Punishment in the sin bin now.
So that means we're going to have a power start. Oh, actually, I think the jam might have been called off for...
No, Hang and Chad did call off the jam as Jammer signaled it, but we do have an injury far side of the track.
And unfortunately, we can't see who it is, but I do see that they're out there taking care of everybody.
The referees are discussing the incident. I believe this was the high block call that just Mike got. And I think, I could be wrong, Michael Jensen was falling down and got hit in the face. So we'll see how this all pans out.
Val Capone over checking out her skater. Coming back toward the bench, didn't have a happy look on her face. Don't know if it was a worried look or a mad look.
Oh, no, my mistake.
That was actually Dilly Dally,
Dylan Bott's getting helped over to the medical center. So hopefully Botts will be all right. Looks just a little shaken up. So it's 3 straight power jams for Your Mom, and in those jams, 33-5. And that's why they're 106-82 right now.
Yeah, so, Puget Sound's not real happy about that right now. They're hoping to get back in the game here. It is a short pack for Your Mom, so advantage in the pack to Puget Sound, but it is a power start for Beastang, who's jamming.
Corporal Punishment, though, already standing in the box, now released. He does take the long trip, and it's the same time lead jammer for Your Mom is called.
Corporal Punishment now coming into the pack, just 2 to get by. Sugar Boots chasing him down, tries to fling out that hip and takes the fall, but Corporal Punishment now out and eligible to score as Beastang coming back in, looking to make it out of the pack and put all 4. He's going to call off the jam, though, probably a wise move, only picking up 3 points for Your Mom Men's Roller.
I think Sugar Boots has been very effective with that hip check for this whole game, but Corporal Punishment, lower center of gravity, has a harder time getting a hit that affects him that much. Kind of hits him in the rib cage with it, which, will hurt and add up, but won't have a good chance of knocking you out of bounds.
Yeah, Sugar Boots 17,000 feet tall, and Corporal Punishment kind of your average height. So, that's hard to make those hips connect in the right place.
Well, Corporal Punishment with a very low stance out there on the floor. Amazing skater. Been involved with Rat City since the very beginning.
Quadzilla jamming for Puget Sound against Frank Natsuhatra. A big hit on Frank Natsuhatra. But he's able to recover quick, and Quadzilla, though, able to grab lead with that delay, so he is up and almost into the pack for score as Frank Natsuhatra turns up the the heat looking to hit the pack. The pack is moving so very, very fast.
Ryrod with a nice whip.
Quadzilla calling off the jam.
What? Something calling for a cut from the outside. Quadzilla with a question about that.
And it looks like, yeah, Quadzilla picking up a cutting the track penalty, but does get 1 point on the jam.
Hollywood Chuck Hedrick stopping over at the medical booth to make sure his nose wasn't bleeding. 109.83 and another power jam here in the second half.
The whistle is blown. Rolomite put out, and that's probably a good choice for your mom since he does have that 93% and I think 100% in this one.
Yeah.
Lead jammer call, so he's out, he's lead, and now coming in on a scoring pass as the pack waits for him in turn number 1.
Rolomite also the leading scorer in this game with 48 points before this. It's going to be a back block called there on Luke Jamblocker.
That puts your mom down one.
Cutting the track.
This is the first actual cutting penalty on a jammer for your mom men's roller derby. That's going to hurt.
Rolomite's also his first penalty. And Quadzilla already out of the penalty box and now done with his with his initial pass. Coming into the pack hot, able to plant his feet, go to the outside on a mohawk, and 5 big points for the Outcast.
Beautiful footwork by Quadzilla there, as you would probably expect from a gentleman of his caliber there.
Yeah,
Coming back in, a nice spin around B-Stang, and then he gets hung up by Frank Natsuhatra. Now he's doing the hip game, but he's taken to the outfield and going to recycle.
Recycled all the way to the back, and Frank Natsuhatra able to go the whole way.
Rolomite coming back in and taken to the outfield. Does pull a penalty on Corey Payne, though, for a multiplayer block. Quadzilla threw for another 5, looks to his bench to see what's going on. They say keep on keeping on. Rolomite through, picks up 4 points, and Quadzilla already back around into B-Stang there.
Oh, a nice whip from Radillac. Able to get him back through, and one more to beat at the front of the pack.
Quadzilla doing a little fancy shoulder work to try to fake out Frank Natsuhatra. B-Stang comes in, knocks him out, and then Frank Natsuhatra takes him to the infield, but picks up a penalty on it.
Michael Jensen causing all kinds of havoc at the front of the pack, and another 4 points for each of these jammers. Oh.
Such an intense game there. I mean, such an intense jam there.
Oh.
97 to 117. I'm going to math it and say 20 points separate these two teams right now.
I think you're right, but my math is also suspect. But, man, what a game, what a game. Just under 19 minutes left. Coming off the Nerd Skates jammer line, we've got Twinkle Toes and England wearing the star.
Again, both jammers kind of with a slower start. I think working out where they're going to go. Forearm call on Twinkle Toes. So that makes it a power jam for Puget Sound. England out and lead. The crowd goes wild. Can he pull 20 points to close up the gap?
We'll find out.
It's a possibility. So as he comes in, Sugar Boots once again with the I'm going to put my hips out there and hope you slam into him.
Oh, and a cut comes from the outside. England picking up the cut. Not a Twinkle Toes, I believe drawing that cut was Seahorses Forever. And waving goodbye was Frank Natsuhatra. Hollywood hit out of bounds, waiting to go back in.
Twinkle Toes coming back in. Looking to put more points on the board for your mom men's roller derby. Taken out by Corey Payne. Gonna have to recycle.
Was a nice block by Natsuhatra there. Oh, running right into Hollywood.
Barely moving Hollywood, taking a spill himself, but able to recover pretty quick.
Corey Payne with a nice hit there. Another big hit from Hollywood. Trying to open a hole from him, but England out of the penalty box now. Taking a lot of damage from Cleveland Stever.
I think there are going to be a lot of bruises on these gentlemen after this bout.
And both of these teams, no matter win or lose, they got to go play it. Oh my goodness! Hollywood came in like a freight train.
And we're seeing some very, very hefty hits there. A direction of gameplay on Sugar Boots. He's going to go to the penalty box. And there we go. We've got England out for all 5. Twinkle Toes now coming around Corey Payne.
Oh, Twinkle Toes not happy with that hit from Corey Payne. A couple of words back to him, but Twinkle Toes now done with his initial pass, holding his thigh right now.
Jam comes to an end. Twinkle Toes just making it to the pack. No points on that, but 2 points go on the board for Puget Sound. So they were able to close the gap up some. 117 to 104. 13 points?
That could be. Could very well be.
I am not responsible for the math that you hear coming out of my mouth.
And then the only times we've had 2-minute jams in this, jammer penalties. So we'll see what happens for the rest of this.
Rolomite versus Walker as we get back into the action, and Rolomite, as he's done so frequently during this tournament, lead jammer.
100% still for the game, and about half a lap behind him, though, comes Walker.
Rolomite coming around on the outside, big hit off the track, and Walker now able to make it into the pack as the jam comes to an end. 3 points for Puget Sound, who did not have lead. No points for Rolomite during that one. That's a tough beat. 10 points now separate the two teams. Puget Sound making the comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years. We would like to thank Outcast for hosting this tournament. Outcast did host the first ever men's tournament here in Tacoma back in 2008. They won that tournament, but there were only 4 teams, and it was, we'll talk about it later.
Beastang versus Quadzilla. Quadzilla already taken to the outside by Nick Becker and getting recycled as Beastang works the front side of the pack. He's really, he's really taken a beating, but he's able to spin around a little bit there. Gets out. He is not lead jammer.
No pass,
he
no
has
penalty.
a no pass, no penalty. So Quadzilla's, oh my goodness, Quadzilla picking up a cutting the track penalty means no lead jammer.
And again, due to penalties, we'll have a full 2-minute jam.
And it is currently a power jam. Currently a power jam for Beastang. 5 points already on that scoring pass.
Not what the Outcast need right now, that's for sure.
Michael Jensen off to the penalty box, so the Outcast down a blocker.
Outcast keeping this pack moving pretty fast, though.
And that is probably not a bad idea because you don't want to let the jammer get in there and get through. They're killing the penalty by keeping it fast. Beastang comes back in for another pass.
Thunderstruck up to stop him and drives him all the way to the other side.
Now they've held Beastang in for this pass as Quadzilla returns, so only the last pass and this pass for that power jam, and Beastang's still working on it as Quadzilla comes in and starts working his way through.
Rattleack with a nice hit there, knocking Beastang out of bounds, so he has to recycle.
Quadzilla really good about getting up on his toe stops right before the line and avoiding being taken to the infield. Now up at the front, he's got 2 to beat. He's taken out by Seahorses Forever, but the wall of Puget Sound blockers is ready. Doesn't want to let Seahorses Forever take it all the way back.
Amazing work at jumping back, but they said no on this one.
Quadzilla really having a time with the pack right now, getting out,
Both
continuing
these
to be recycled.
Yeah, just not much room out there at all.
And a cut up the track by Beastang as the jam comes to an end. Means we'll start with a power jam for Puget Sound.
They're going to get the whole 30 seconds on this one.
Now, Your Mom men's roller derby able to increase their lead back to 20 on that one.
And I believe, yes, an official review coming on that cutting track. I'm guessing it's on the cutting. We'll find out.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Mike Muse and Sugar Boots, the captain for Your Mom men's roller derby, out there. And I just saw Sugar Boots go back in or toward the penalty box to clarify with Beastang. I do believe they are going to be challenging the cutting the track.
If I was going to make a challenge, that would be mine. Your Mom has used 1 timeout. This is the first review, and Puget Sound still with all 3 of their timeouts. 13:13 left on the clock.
And the intensity is just so high in here. I'm looking at the audience. We have a packed auditorium for 9 o'clock in the morning in Tacoma, Washington on a Sunday, but there are so many people here, and all of them with really intensity, like that watching everything face.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot of people sitting on the edge of their seat, and I mean that literally. insert your monster truck voice joke here.
Monster truck.
I'm not going to do it for you.
Do it.
No. Lazy people at home, you can do it yourselves.
Scott Hamilton working the crowd for you.
Nice little crowd goose, a little bit of a cheap pop. Scott Hamilton having a great game. I'd like to say a thank you to a couple of our sponsors. Bridgespan Health, they're here. They have cycles. You can make your own smoothie and blend it yourself with the cycle. Skate Geek, Back Alley Skates, Blood and Thunder, of course, World Cup coming up in December. Tickets still available. That should be amazing. 30 different countries represented at that. Radar Wheels, of course, they'll be sponsoring tournament MVPs by handing out a bunch of swag. And Bont and, of course, Adam. Two just amazing companies right there. So thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks also to all of our officials here this weekend. This is not an easy sport to officiate at all.
No, it isn't.
And they've been doing a great job.
And this weekend too, if you're not familiar with the tournament staffing, you actually need twice the NSOs because the non-skating officials are doing paperwork tracking, and then they've also got to enter everything into the computer so that those of us who are talking to you people out there have some stuff that we can actually tell you and make us sound smart. So,
all right. So update for the second half. So far, the jammers for Outcast have spent time in a box out of 7 out of the 10 jams here in the second half, while your mom, only 3 out of the 10 jams. So your mom kind of turned it around. What they used to have was a big problem with penalties in the first half, but have fixed that problem, while Outcast have had that problem happen.
Yeah, and we're seeing that as I'm looking at the Ringster stats, which, again, you can check out at ringster.net after the game is over. You can get the full stat sheet for the bout. We see that Puget Sound has picked up a good number of penalties in this second half because they were really, really clean during the first half.
And the 3 players that had 4 at the beginning of this half, still sitting at 4. They've now had Twinkle Toes join them at 4 penalties. But you got Twinkle Toes, Peter Pan, and Dirty Larry. Michael Jensen with 4 penalties for the Outcast, but other than that, a few players with 3, some with 2. But their penalty numbers definitely a lot higher in the second half.
Alrighty.
We'll find out what the review was and the result of it. Looks like if it was the cut, that stood.
Whistle blown, Scott Hamilton with a power jam. As we get moving, I'm going to turn it over to Julia Sleazer just to get some clarification on that. Julia.
That last official review, it was the black was challenging the cut on their jammer, but it does stand, so they do not get their official review back.
Alrighty, but they're going to get their jammer back in a minute.
Right.
Anyway, Scott Hamilton just picking up a cutting the track penalty himself. So B-Stain's going to come out of the penalty box. Now he is eligible for lead or was Scott Hamilton lead before?
No, he was still on his initial pass.
Alrighty.
So he is eligible for lead and gets it.
There it is. He gets it. As he goes into the outfield, he's going to shut down the jam.
He said, I don't want to have to do this anymore.
That'll give your mom men's roller derby a chance to put in another jammer fresh, and it looks like he'll have at least a few seconds, possibly up to 10, to get that lead.
Scott Hamilton just stood up when the whistles blew, so 9.5 seconds or so left in the call.
Should do it for Rolomite. He's been pretty good about getting right off the line and getting lead, even if there is another jammer in there. Let's see how it plays out this time. Puget Sound also down a blocker as we get into the jam. Rolomite again to the outside, and there it is. Lead jammer for Rolomite, maintaining that 100% lead jammer call for himself.
Amazing work out there.
Scott Hamilton now returning to the penalty, now returning to the track.
Yeah, don't stick him in the box already. Jeez.
He comes in, he gets taken to the outfield and recycled as Rolomite already putting up 5 more points for your mom men's roller derby. Scott Hamilton around the outside with a nice twist backwards and then some backwards skating. He's out and free. Rolomite now back in and taking a beating. Ends up going to the outfield. He calls off the jam. He does it a little small, so the whistle was a little slow. 3-3.
Scott Slammerman picking up those points and goosing the crowd on his go-round again.
That's one of the things I tell the jammers that I know. I'm like, make your signal big. It doesn't hurt to not just touch your hips like this, because if you're on the outside and you've got those big dudes standing in front of you and the ref can't see it, it's really not their fault if they don't blow the whistle.
When you're on the far side of Radillac, you don't really have a great view line. Our jam refs here are amazing, but they do not have x-ray vision. So 135-110 right now.
Frank Not-So-Hatra versus England. England out first, lead jammer going to Puget Sound. His jammer ref kind of got a little confused and lost him there for a second, but she's found him. Oh, wait, I'm not sure.
He's found him.
Yeah.
Pronoun.
Somebody found somebody. There we go.
A forearm call on Corey Payne, but damage done. Frank's Not-So-Hatra stuck on the outside, and that's going to be a 5-point pass for Walker.
Frank Not-So-Hatra having trouble at the front side of the pack there, breaking out, but he finally does and is now eligible to score. So just one more pass for Walker. If he can break through Your Mom Men's Roller Derby's wall, he is up and got a couple points at least. Is he going to call off the jam in time? Nice, beautiful hit by Big Bill there, takes out Frank Not-So-Hatra.
Apologies, that was England jamming in that one.
And 3 points for Puget Sound. It looked like 1 point for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby.
So just under 10 minutes, 136 to 118.
The numbers are messed up now. I can't math it.
Math is hard.
Anyway, let's just call it a close game with 9:30 remaining. Quadzilla takes the jam line for Puget Sound up against Rolomite off the track. These two are pretty good friends from what I understand. So let's see how they do on the track. I think they're going to be pretty much enemies right at the moment. Some huge things going on there. A little bit of a skater pushover. Quadzilla finds the front side of the pack first. Lead jammer Rolomite hot on his trail.
First non-lead jammer for Rolomite in this game, and it couldn't come at a more appropriate time.
Quadzilla coming in, cutting the track as he's trying to call off the jam. He is not happy about that. Rolomite now the only jammer. He is not lead, so we go for the full 2 minutes.
And again, another jam forced for the full 2 minutes by penalties. Hollywood dragging him all the way back. Almost got him to span away.
And it's going to be real important for the Puget Sound defense to maintain Rolomite inside the pack so he cannot put up the points.
Stand Aside got hit out of bounds, but he kept skating backwards anyway and suckered Rolomite into following him. And he's going to get the skating out of bounds call.
Everybody on the track was like, that was a skating out of bounds, except for the Your Mom Men's Roller Derby skaters. I don't blame them for that. And sure enough, the outside pack ref did set it inside that, yes, it was, in fact, a skating out of bounds.
Rolomite, so used to having lead jammer, because that was his first not getting it, that he thought, I'm lead. So he tried to call the jam, skated out of bounds, was not lead. Fortunately, no penalty for trying to call it off. And that's going to wind up with a power jam at 5 points for Quadzilla.
And Quadzilla already putting points on the board. He comes and takes a hit, and he's like, I'm not cutting the track. I saw him tell the refs, I'm coming off where you're at. Don't call it cutting the track on me. Crowd goes wild as penalties being awarded to Peter Pan.
I think we just got a diving call on Peter Pan, because Quadzilla was coming into the pack and Peter Pan hit the deck like he had been shot from the third row.
I'm seeing Mike Muse coming out and asking some questions to mistrial.
7 minutes. Your Mom, though, has used their review already.
Yeah, so he can talk for the 30 seconds, but nothing else going to happen. Number 12, Walker jamming for Puget Sound in a power jam. Rolomite did go to the penalty box at the end of that last jam for a low block. So that's pretty much 30 seconds for Puget Sound to make a difference here in the game with less than 10 points separating here. Could change up here.
Walker, though, hit to the inside, so he's got to cycle the long way around. He decides to cut through the center and head back in. Now Radillac trying to open up a hole for him, but no dice. He gets held up yet again.
Walker is lead jammer, but he continues to get recycled. Rolomite now back into Hendrick. Takes a hit and a spill. He's just trying to break the pack to shut it down. And Walker, again, lead, but still on his initial pass. He ended up getting swallowed back up and is continuing to be recycled there. Seahorses forever with a very nice hit.
And Walker finally calls off that jam.
And it was a good time to do it because Rolomite was out and coming back for score. Not a bad idea to shut it down. I mean, look, we're back within less than 10 points here. It's actually 8. I can math that one, I think. So.
5:40 left in this game. Back and forth all night. All morning, excuse me.
Our producer, Julius Leeser, is enjoying our commentary here every time we slip up.
What a game. Coming off the Nerd Skate jammer line. This time we've got Scott Slamilton and B. Stang.
And B. Stang gets trapped right up in the PSOD wall. And Scott Slamilton looking for a way around him too, but the Your Mom Men's Roller Derby defenders are on either side of the holes that his team was making for him there.
Quadzilla going off for a multiplayer block on that one.
So ends up Scott Slamilton recycling way back behind Peter Pan. And a big spill at the front side of the pack. Let's see if there's a penalty. And yes.
Big Bill going to pick that one up, but and again, you got the penalty, but recycling all the way to the back is B. Stang. But now a 4-2 pack advantage for Your Mom.
Neither jammer yet having any headway. There we go. Finally, B. Stang able to find his way out the front side of the pack as we're down to just one Puget Sound blocker out there. Oh, there we go. Quadzilla coming back in for some reinforcement. Scott Slamilton finds the front side of the pack, and he's out. But that's B. Stang through for 4 points on that pass.
And he's trying to get that jammer point there by getting around Scott Slamilton. Scott Slamilton says, no, I don't think so. Okay, maybe.
A little bit of jammer on jammer action. B. Stang going to go in for another couple points. He calls it off. 1 more point on the pass. It looks like he did get his hips around Quadzilla there. But the jammers were outside the engagement zone, so he doesn't get the jammer point.
Oh, I see. What's getting argued for right now, because he got the 1 jammer point, he didn't get the point on Quadzilla.
Oh, that's what it was.
Because it was the jammer point, he doesn't get the point for the player in the box. So, no ghost points. The scariest type of points there are.
Number 10, Rolomite back out there against number 22, England. And Rolomite goes toward the outfield looking to take that outside line once again, and he comes back in. And no pass, no penalty as he comes in because they were out of play.
Hollywood had skated back past 20 feet, and so not lead jammer, he never legally passed Hollywood.
That means that Puget Sound really wants to get out here and stop the bleeding. And England looking to do it, almost makes it, but steps into the infield there. Rolomite now in and picking up points. Lead jammer goes to England, and Rolomite coming through, going to pick up 4 points. England, I believe he knows he's lead jammer, but he's going to try to match at least some of the points before Rolomite gets back in.
A nice apex jump.
And calling it off, yeah. So he matched a couple of the points there. He got
looks like
3.
Yeah.
So that was a wise strategy. If the other jammer's already making points on you and you're going to get lead, you might as well go ahead and run through and see if you can put some at least match points up. So
2:30 left in the game. 145, 131, 20. No. There's some points difference. You can figure it out at home. You probably have a calculator.
I'm going to say 14.
Okay.
So if you look here, Puget Sound still has 3 timeouts and an official review. So with the clock ticking down and the game being this close, I have a feeling that we may end up seeing that happen unless something drastic happens out there. I'm pretty sure the coaches are going to start using their timeouts to stop the clock. Walker versus Twinkle Toes. Twinkle Toes up and through for lead jammer.
We'll see if he lets the clock run for the full 2 minutes.
Walker is out. Now, Your Mom Men's Roller Derby does not have enough of a head start that they want to let it go, so he is going to call it off. 4 points go on the clock. Your Mom Men's Roller Derby calling for a timeout. Now, that's different. When you're in the lead, you don't typically call for a timeout when the clock is this close. But again, I guess they want to stop the clock and give Puget Sound a chance to come back.
An odd little statistic. Peter Pan 10 jams in a row with the pivot cover on.
That is pretty impressive, actually. I think I would be ready to die after 10 jams.
No, just not 10 straight jams, but the last 10 jams he's been out there. That's a lot. It's a lot. Currently, we've got Frank Natsuhatra out there wearing the star. And there's Hollywood Chuck Hedrick wearing the star for the Outcast. Hollywood, of course, one of the starters of the Outcast and a big force in Derby in the Northwest. And now we've got an official review from the Outcast.
So I think maybe your mom giving their bench a little bit of a break there, taking this timeout, and Puget Sound says, okay, we're gonna take this 30 seconds, and then we're gonna do our official review, because might as well take the 30-second break.
Yeah, take your minute off. Get everybody rested up. So far, I got a big lineup out there. Scott Slamlin with the pivot cover, Ryrod, Corey Payne, and Stand Aside.
Now, I'm unsure what Puget Sound is challenging. As soon as we get more information, we'll let you know, because nobody's in the box, but maybe they're thinking somebody should be in the box. That's going to be my best guess.
They may be asking for a cutting the track call at the end of that play. It's possible. I know the jammer did get hit right on the inside line. It's on the opposite side of the track from where we're sitting, so it could have been. I don't know if he actually went inside or not. Again,
and that's what the official reviews are for, and that's what the refs will decide, and we'll let you know as soon as we know more. Our announcer ref is out there taking some notes for us. That's Crunchy, who's helping us out and bringing us the good information.
And how your mom's line up right now. Peter Pan again wearing that pivot. Beast Dang, Sugar Boots, and Seahorses Forever. So a couple of power lineups out there. We've only got 1:46 on the clock.
Again, I want to point out that Puget Sound still has 3 timeouts. Your Mom men's roller derby with 3 timeouts.
No, your mom.
I'm sorry, with one. That's what I meant to say. I don't know why 3 came out of my mouth.
It's early.
And we're still pending whether or not Puget Sound loses their official review or keeps it. If they win, they get to keep it, and they can use it again later. And that is the only kind of timeout that can happen after the clock has run out.
Yes.
But there is an opportunity, if there's still time on the clock, for Puget Sound to pause the clock and have another jam.
Starting to see pretty good clock management all throughout roller derby. It seemed for a long time that people had never seen sports with timeouts before, but now you're seeing it a lot better. People making sure, hey, I want to make sure I have enough time, can get a couple more jams in.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you're this close, timeouts, it makes sense to utilize them. Give yourself that extra 2-minute possibility of taking over the lead. That's why I was surprised when your Mom men's roller derby decided to use a timeout when they did, just because they're already in the lead. It wasn't really necessary to stop the clock, but maybe they just needed a break. I mean, that's what the timeouts are there for, right?
If Peter Pan has been out there for 10 straight jams, then yes. I think they just, all right, everybody catch your breath. Peter Pan has been out for 25 jams in this bout. Not the highest number, though. That actually goes to Sugar Boots, who's been out there for 27 jams.
You can always tell when Sugar Boots is out there, because all you got to do is look for the head that's higher than everybody else's.
The only way that would be different is if our another member of the Outcast not playing this weekend, because he is the bout coordinator. Biggie Tall's taller than him. Actually, maybe taller than him off skates.
Alrighty, we're back into the action. Number 9, Frank Natsuhatra against 23 Quadzilla. Lots of driving going on in the pack there. Frank Natsuhatra taken out by number 14, Ryrod, but quickly back onto the track. Meanwhile, at the front side of the pack, Quadzilla with a nice one-footed spin around on the outside line. Lead jammer goes to Puget Sound. This is what they want. They need to put the points on the board. Frank Natsuhatra out and chasing him down.
If they're smart here, they'll try and pick up 4 points, call the jam, and
timeout. That's going to be my expectation. Quadzilla in, signaling to call off the jam. He picks up 2 points. No points for your mom. No timeout being called. We're down to 1 minute. There's Val Capone signaling the timeout. It's done. Timeout is called.
Right about 1 minute left. So that challenge, Puget was asking for a review on a no call on the Your Mom jammer and the no call stance.
Yeah, obviously it didn't happen because there were 2 jammers on the track there.
It was on the cut, the potential cut. The obviously no cut, because that's the way it worked out.
Yeah, it was a no cut.
There was no cut. Their view not much better than our view from the bench. So, but they thought they saw something that and what the heck? You got a minute left in this game. 149, 133. Not a lot of time to nickel and dime right now.
That's it. Well, what I'll point out is, okay, so no official reviews, so there will be no after the clock timeouts. So Puget Sound with 2 timeouts remaining after this one, but if there's no time on the clock, they can't call a timeout. And I don't see why Your Mom Men's Roller Derby would use their last timeout. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense at this point.
Unless we have a huge jam that only takes 57 seconds.
And which is a possibility. I mean, they're still so close right now that one jam could make the difference. If they can pull a penalty on the jammer, it could make a difference.
All right, timeout is over. Coming off the Nerd Skates jammer line. Rolomite, a great choice by Your Mom up against England.
The entire country? No.
Yes.
Here we go. They're out. Watching for jammer penalties. Rolomite to take into the outfield, but able to come right back in. And there it is. He's got lead jammer. I'm betting you that he is not going to signal to call this off unless something goes horribly wrong or the clock runs out.
Yeah, once the clock runs out, he'll be tapping his hips. England having a heck of a time getting out of the pack.
Rolomite coming in nice and slow to the pack. He knows he doesn't really need to do anything right now because England is still on his initial pass. He does not want to risk getting a penalty, so he's going to take it nice and easy in the pack. He's even backing off here just in case something happens. Now England is out, so Rolomite might turn up the speed, but there's really no need to because it's unlikely that England will get enough passes.
16-point lead so far.
Beautiful hit on Rolomite by Corey Payne there, but Corey Payne picks up a penalty for it. He's headed off to the penalty box. Rolomite now just kind of hanging out at the back, letting the clock tick down. We've hit 0 on the period clock. Rolomite calls it off.
Another 4 points picked up by England, but not enough. Outcast will be going to the bronze medal game, the 3-4 against the winner or loser of the next bout, and excuse me, Your Mom continuing their winning ways, headed on. But I think honestly, Your Mom, amazing game out there.
It was an amazing game for both teams, absolutely. And what we saw was Your Mom came in penalty heavy. They went away at halftime. They got their heads in the game. They did not let Puget Sound get into their heads. They came back. They played a much cleaner game in the second half because as I looked down the column there were a number of people with 4 penalties. Yeah, they picked up some more penalties in the second half, but the people who were penalty heavy cleaned up their game and only picked up maybe another 1. I see 2 for Nick Becker there.
Yeah.
But overall they played a much cleaner second half, which shows in how they were able to bring out the win.
Exactly. And but I do think Outcast have shown that Your Mom is beatable. They are not the machine they were last year where you thought, all right. So I think New York Shock Exchange was out here. Gatekeepers were out here watching this game. They're slobbering at the mouth right now thinking, oh, we can take these guys. We got it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't matter who between the next 2 teams that are coming up and playing for you goes on into the final game. Your Mom Men's Roller Derby is definitely going to have some teams gunning for them. They do not, and nobody wants to see the three-peat of either of those 2 teams. But I can guarantee Your Mom Men's Roller Derby does want a three-peat. And
all their fans want to see it.
So yeah, there's definitely going to be some more intensity, and even the next game here is going to be so intense. A constant rivalry between the St. Louis Gatekeepers and the New York Shock Exchange.
We've got amazing derby the rest of the day. We have So Disco, Southern Discomfort. Oddly, the most northern team playing in the tournament this weekend, but that's going to be an amazing game.
Denton, Mass Maelstrom. Denton, Southern
Outlaws.
Discomfort. Yeah, so Denton coming up against Southern Discomfort.
Sorry.
So the most southern team from here going up against the most northern team from the international game bracket there.
But that should also be an amazing game. A lot of pride and both those teams came in ranked lower, so they're looking to get that 5th, try and get that 5th one, not wind up with the 6th. And Outcast, our host league here, going to be trying to play for that bronze medal. but an amazing game. Left it all out on the floor there, back and forth, back and forth. Your mom just able to control their penalties in the second half, while Outcast started taking some bad jammer penalties, and that'll what'll get you here.
That is what will get you.
Not even 20 points separating these two teams.
That was a very close game, especially when you consider where both teams came seated. Your mom is number 1, and Puget Sound came in at number. I can't remember
4.
the number. Was it number 4? So
number 4. They can't have the opportunity to move up or stay the same. They will at least will not finish worse than they started. So
absolutely.
And then here in just a minute, we're going to throw it over to Raucous Ron, interviewing quite a few members of your mom, but we'll wait till we get the signal. But amazing tournament so far. We got a lot of great derby going on today. I can't wait to see. This next game is going to be
intense.
Off the hook.
Off the hook is good, yes.
Off the charts, if you prefer. It's off something. So we're going to go ahead and throw it over here.
Not quite yet. No, they're still waiting.
Wait for it.
So
wait for it.
We'll just sit here and stare at you people at home.
Let's take it over to Raucous Ron.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Raucous Ron right here with the victorious Your Mom Men's Roller Derby, taking down Puget Sound in a very, very tough game. Guys, what a game here. First of all, tell us who you are real quick.
I'm Tony Muse. Nicholas Becker.
Chris Burkhardt. Dante Muse.
Fantastic skaters, 2 times world champions. Give me some thoughts on this one. It was a tough one. What do you think about what Puget Sound was bringing?
Well, they definitely were a different team than they were last year, playing really good, tough defense, had some great jammer addition, and, they match up. We knew they were going to match up well with us.
Yeah, lots of time to study film and come in worked on this one. So I hear some rumors over here of some retirements, but, I'm not even going to bring it up here, So, we love all these guys, and we hope to see them back next year and again in the future. But so now you've got to face either the Gatekeepers or New York Chalk Exchange. You played them both. Any preference on which team you'd like to play? Or
It's a pretty open thing. Either way, both teams are pretty challenging as an overall. New York has a little more power, size, and the will of the New York just brings them up to every level every year.
Yeah, so exciting. Are there any things you're going to change and adapt from this game and bring into the next one that you could tell us about?
Well, we can just say that every different team provides a different matchup, and Puget Sound, we think, a lot like Magic City, is a mirror of us. So you play them in a different way than, say, a powerful team like you play New York or St. Louis. So there'll be some adjustments. Hopefully we can stay on the floor. Penalties killed us. First half of that one, we were in big trouble. So hopefully we can clean that up, play a little bit better derby.
Well, enjoy watching this next game. The guys are going to go out there and beat each other up, and then you get to face them later on today. Congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you.
And we love you. Yeah.
Thanks. Raucous Ron for WFTDA.TV and the MRDA Championships. Checking out.
We are Deb Null,
And Roxy Sadowin of Nerd Roller Skates.
Calgary, Alberta's full-service skate shop.
We are roller derby players and roller skate nerds.
And we are here for the people who roll.
My name is Lacey Knight, and I skate with the Angel City Derby Girls. I've been evolving more and more into just having things that I know are going to be reliable, that they're going to last, and that they're going to do exactly what I want them to do. When you've reached a certain place in your derby career, it becomes less about how much you're spending on the equipment as it is about what it's going to do for you. I need to be able to have it conform to my foot so that it's just an extension of who I am as opposed to this thing that is now on my foot. The right L boot that I have now has been able to successfully do everything I need it to do. This year has even gotten better for me, and my skating is the best it's ever been, and it's the best boot that I've ever had.
When you don't buy Antic skate boots, you buy some other brand. When you buy some other brand, you suck at practice. When you suck at practice, you're unprepared for Team Antic USA skater Carmen Getsum. When you're unprepared for Carmen Getsum, she destroys you on the track. When she destroys you on the track, you end up on the trainer's table with a concussion and major injuries. Don't end up with a concussion and major injuries. Buy Antic skate boots.